Shining hard, go we back up. Rose gold from your neck up. You know the song is not to try to check.
What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon, Lifestyles Defined. Welcome back to another episode of AMA. If you're new here, you're not sure how this works, you leave your question in the comment section down below and we answer it in upcoming videos. Today's question comes from NETVO TV, and he says, do you think nowadays there's still a place for a camcorder like the Sony AXP55? Who will benefit from it? Is it better to get something like a bridge camera like the Sony RX or the bridge camera or Sony RX10? Do you think Sony's still going to release a new camcorder, or they're waiting for 4K 60 frames per second to be mature? Well, this is a very interesting question, and I think only people who are very serious about their videography would run into this question. Although the trend these days is to take a mirrorless or a DSLR and just rock out. And the less popular option is something like the AXP55. And just to be sure, for those of you who are not familiar with this thing is it's a camcorder, but the specs on this thing are wild. It does 4K 60 frames a second. It's got 5-axis image stabilization in it. It's got like a 20x optical zoom. It's got a Zeiss lens built in. It's got the Wi-Fi sync. Like, this thing is built to the gills, and it can record multiple formats at the same time. It's got so much more space, and it doesn't separate the videos, right? And this is something I forgot why. It's something to do with the class of camera and the taxes that apply to it. The reason the DSLR and the mirrorless cameras separate videos, or they stop recording after like 10 minutes on some, and then others just like 20 minutes, and they cut it into a different stream, is they aren't supposed to classify it as a camcorder. Camcorders just keep recording. If you're recording for 4 hours, and you get one long ass 4-hour video, one long file. So that's something to be aware of. I think right now on Amazon, what is this thing? It's a $1,200 camera on Amazon, and for what you get, I mean, I think the Sony AXP55 is a dope camera. Would I recommend it for someone if you know you're going to do solely video? Yes. And I'm not sure what bit rate it records at, but I'm pretty sure it's some ridiculous amount. And this is something that I run across. Snow bought this was recently. This had to have been like a good 6-7 months ago. He got this, I forgot what model it was, a Sony camcorder for like $300, and it only shot like 720p. But when you see the quality that came out of this camcorder, you're like, holy shit. I feel like it is a different class of quality, and I'm not saying that you can't get that type of quality out of these new cameras, especially something from the Panasonic side, and even like out of the Sony AR2. But I mean, the ergonomics of holding that camcorder makes it much more steady to hold. On top of the fact that a lot of these video cameras don't even have, a lot of these SLRs, DSLRs and mirrorless cameras don't even have optical image stabilization yet. It has it over there. The fact that it's Zeiss glass, you know, I think of course there's a benefit for this thing to be around, especially when you know you're not going to be dabbling in photography anytime soon. And this is why I'm shooting on a G7 right now. I like it because I get dope quality, and if I wanted to, I can go out and shoot it as a regular camera. So I like that versatility. But if you're just into straight video, then man, you would benefit from it. In terms of the bridge cameras, not a fan of those things. I get it, they've got this wide range from super wide to super long, but I like changing lenses. I like interchangeable lenses. I like seeing the different characteristics of different lenses, so I'm not really into that. Do I think Sony will release camcorders? Yes, they will. I remember when the Sony store was across the street from me, I would go in there and play with. They had this camcorder, I forget the model number, but it was like this. It was this this industry standard camcorder, and it shot 4K 60 at the time. This was like 2 years ago, and I would just play with it. And one of the things I always liked about camcorders is how smooth you can zoom. You can zoom in and out, and you know it's an analog button, so the faster you held it, the faster zoom in. You held it slow, it panned out even slower, and then it's easier to pull focus on a camcorder. They're built for that, right? These are things that it's kind of hard to replicate on today's DSLR mirrorless setup. So yes, I think there's a place for that. I think Sony will always make a camcorder. And I'm shocked. I didn't think this thing was this affordable until you mentioned it on Amazon for $1,200. This is a hell of an affordable option. And you asked about the 4K 60. I don't think it's difficult for them to drop 60 frames a second in something like this. I know they're busy now on the A7 line and the A6500 and whatnot, but I would expect to see a refresh of this guy fairly soon with that 60 frames a second, and maybe even if Sony's got the balls to push it at 4K 120 frames a second. Let's see what happens, because in a body like that, you've got more room to pack more power. We're talking sensor and RAM and all that stuff to help out there. So let's see what happens, but I think it's dope. I think there will always be a need for video cameras like this. You guys hit the comment section. Let me know what you think. Damn, now you got me looking at this goddamn thing. The only thing I don't like about them is you can't really change the lenses on them. But these things are dope, man. Zeiss glass. Wow. Good question, homie. Good question. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. We got plenty more coming. My name is Ramon. I'm out of here. Peace. Well, I guess, and the reason we started Lifestyles Defined is because if we weren't on camera arguing about these things, the technologies, the phones, the iPhones, the Androids, the cameras, the games, we'd be on the phone arguing about it. We'd be in each other's houses arguing about it. So why not just put it in front of a camera for everyone to enjoy it the way we do? That's what Lifestyles Defined is all about. We just love this shit.